The Grand Canyon is a place where everyone needs to plan a visit. That's because you will have your breath taken away the moment you first see the wonders of this national park. With the history as grand as the actual canyon itself, even the most frequent visitor doesn't know everything about this national marvel. So here are some interesting facts about one of the world's most famous destinations. We don't really know how old it is. It has long been believed that the Colorado River began carving the Grand Canyon around 6 million years ago. But after a very in-depth study in 2012, a real shocker was discovered, suggesting that the process may have begun as far back as 70 million years ago. Fish are relatively uncommon in the Grand Canyon. Prior to modern flood control measures, the Colorado River provided a uniquely difficult habitat for fish. With the heavy silt, frequently floods, and temperatures ranging from extreme heat in the summer to sub-freezing in the winter, is not ideal for most types of fish. As a result, you can only find around 8 different types of fish that are native to the Grand Canyon, and 6 of them are found nowhere outside of the Colorado River. The Grand Canyon National Park is bigger than the entire state of Rhode Island. While Rhode Island is the smallest state in America, this is still really impressive. The national park comes in at a massive 1,904 square miles, while Rhode Island is around 1,212 square miles. In some places, the canyon itself is over a mile deep and 10 miles across. Now talk about massive. Now believe it or not, but the Grand Canyon is not the deepest canyon in the world. That's because the Yarlung Temple Grand Canyon in Tibet plummets to a depth of 17,567 feet, making it more than 2 miles deeper than the Grand Canyon, which comes in at 6,093 feet. This canyon is also around 30 miles longer than the Grand Canyon. The Hopi tribe considers the Grand Canyon a gateway to the afterlife. The tribe has always placed great spiritual significance on the site. That's because they believe that upon death, a person passes westward through a place of emergence, located at the junction of the Colorado and Little Colorado rivers in the canyon. I call that a beautiful journey to the afterlife. The rock squirrel is actually the most dangerous animal in the canyon. Yes, you heard that right. And even though there are crazy spiders, pink rattlesnakes, and Gila monsters all call the Grand Canyon home, visitors are most often bitten by this humble squirrel. The Grand Canyon creates its own weather. Of all the Grand Canyon facts, this one might be the coolest one. Sudden changes in elevation have an enormous impact on temperature and precipitation, so that the weather you're experiencing could very drastically change depending on where you are in the Grand Canyon. The coldest, wettest weather station in the region is the Bright Angel Ranger Station on the North Rim, while the hottest and one of the driest is located just 8 short miles away at Phantom Ranch. The Grand Canyon is one of the most recognizable places on Earth, drawing millions upon millions of tourists every single year from countries all across the globe. To say the Grand Canyon is a bucket list travel spot for many people is an understatement. So if you're enjoying this video, then if you could, please take 1 second and give it a like, because each one really does help the performance of the video. Also, do not forget to become the newest Vacation Guides USA subscriber so you do not miss out on my next video. Now, back to the facts. Over 950 million years worth of rocks are missing. The Grand Canyon offers one of the most visible examples of a worldwide geological phenomenon known as the Great Unconformity, in which 250 million year-old rocks throughout a lie back to back with 1.2 billion year-old rocks. What happened during the hundreds of millions of years between remains is a very large mystery. Nature is so beautiful, creepy, and wild. fewer people have successfully completed a continuous lengthwise hike through the Grand Canyon than have walked on the actual moon itself. Now let that sink in for a minute. You mean to tell me that there's actually been more people to step foot on the actual moon than have walked the full length of the Grand Canyon? I mean, that's just crazy. Which leads me to this. The Grand Canyon is so big and so diverse that visitors can actually experience completely different ecosystems. Now this one is very interesting. The canyon is full of hidden caves, and there are an estimated 1,000 caves within the canyon, but only 335 have been recorded and only one cave is open to the public. Now if you hate snakes, you're gonna really enjoy this fact. The canyon is home to pink rattlesnakes. The Grand Canyon pink rattlesnake is only found in, you guessed it, the Grand Canyon. And another slithering fact about this is that the pink rattlesnake is one of 6 rattlesnake species that live within the park boundaries. Now I know you have chills running down your spine, but let's continue because the snake's pink color means it blends into the rocks around, making it extra surprising when a tourist catches a glimpse of one. So yeah, you better keep your eyes peeled on those pink snakes. The Federal Aviation Administration exists solely because of the Grand Canyon. In the 1950s, commercial airplanes often took detours over the park to give passengers a look at the marvel. Then, in 1956, unfortunately 2 of these planes tragically collided. The crash had no survivors, leading the federal government to create the FAA. The Grand Canyon was once home to a booming photo business. The Call brothers discovered that they can make a fortune by taking photos of tourists while they're enjoying the Grand Canyon. They would take a photo when tourists departed and then sell them back to them when the riders returned from their journey. Now talk about a $1 million idea. The drive from the North Rim Visitor Center to the South Rim Visitor Center is approximately 200 miles. And will take you around 4 hours to complete. But I highly recommend this drive because it definitely puts the size of this marvel really into perspective. Believe it or not, but there's a town inside the canyon itself. Supai Village is located at the base of the Grand Canyon within the Havasupai Indian Reservation. Now this reservation is inaccessible by road and with a population of just over 200 people, making it the most remote community in the lower 48 states and is the only place where mail is still delivered by pack mule. Did you know that there are no dinosaur bones in the Grand Canyon? While the canyon might look like the perfect place to go looking for dinosaur bones, no one has ever found a bone here, and it's for good reason. That's because the rock that makes up the canyon walls is vastly more ancient than the dinosaurs. Now check out this stat. We're talking 1 billion years more ancient than dinosaurs in some cases, but the canyon itself probably didn't form until after the dinosaurs were long gone. There are lots of different fossils in the area, and while the dinosaurs might have missed out on seeing the Grand Canyon, lots of other fossils have been found that suggest other creatures frequently visit the location. And those creatures range from ancient marine fossils dating back 1.2 billion years to fairly recent land mammals that left their remains in canyon caves around 1,000 years ago. A huge mystery surrounds the canyon. That's because it displays a geological phenomenon known as the Great Unconformity. This phenomenon refers to the fact that 250 million year old rock layers lie directly against 1.2 billion year old rocks. The air at the Grand Canyon is among the cleanest air in the entire United States. Seriously, when you breathe in the air at the Grand Canyon, you can really feel that this is the cleanest air you've ever inhaled. That's because the elevation of the South Rim is around 7,000 feet above sea level. Plus, there's not a whole lot of pollution out in the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon is still changing shape. The Colorado River flows through the canyon, which combined with the wind and the rain shapes it over time. Now, of course, you're not going to be able to witness this with your naked eye, but it really is changing over time nonetheless. Hundreds of split twig figurines have been discovered in the canyon walls shaped like deer and bighorn sheep. Anthropologists believe that prehistoric hunters used these in religious rituals. So if you see one, now you know why. The purpose of this video is to teach you things about the Grand Canyon that you probably did not know, all while making you want to visit this one-of-a-kind place even more. This Arizona landmark is still full of surprises, I guarantee you that. And I recommend paying a visit to the Grand Canyon National Park at this indescribable natural beauty. Have you visited the Grand Canyon before? If so, what did you think? Be sure to let me know in the comments, and thank you so much for watching, and remember to never stop traveling.